loud. Okay, so I want to go ahead and share this story that was shared to me and some of others. I'm in this program called Journey to the Peak, and it's monthly, and you can sign up for it or not. But this month, the focus is on the Warrior series. And so the story goes like this. You guys have probably heard of Shiva. Shiva is one of the deities or the lords in the Hindu traditions. And you've probably heard of Shakti. Shakti is, we call it kind of held at the base of our spine, and kind of this spiraling effect that goes up to meet Shiva. But Shiva also had a woman friend named Sati. And Sati came from a very rich family. Daksha was the name of her father. And Shiva was kind of a hippie, I guess, had long hair, never brushed it, kind of turned into dreadlocks. He is the lord of the beasts as in nature and animals, okay? So always with nature, always kind of dirty, wearing the earth upon him, and very free-spirited, okay? So you kind of get a picture of this person, free-spirited and in love with this woman named Sati. Sati was in love with him as well. And they knew that her father was not happy with this arrangement, right? He kept wanting Sati to leave Shiva, but her love for him really kept them connected and united. So Daksha, her father, decided to do something to really show her his contempt for their relationship. And so he decided to hold a grand, big, expensive party and not invite either of them, not his daughter, Sati, nor Shiva, her partner. So he held this big party, and Shiva didn't care. He was kind of like, oh, well, that doesn't matter. We can go hang out in nature, and we can just be ourselves and let them do their thing. But Sati felt really betrayed by her father, and she felt she should be at that party, and was just not being able to be consoled by Shiva. So Sati then went into the party uninvited, unannounced. And when she entered, her father, and during this party, part of this ceremony or celebration, they lit this beautiful fire, this fire that was part of the ceremony and part of what they would use to kind of burn away past and let go of things. And he was trying to let go of this daughter and this relationship that he didn't find agreeable. And so she comes in, and he stops everything, all the music, all the dancing, all the celebrating, and he shamed her in front of everyone, saying, what are you doing here? Why aren't you in the dirt with your lover of the beasts? And you don't belong here with us anymore, that you're not part of us. And so she was just in tears. She was mad. She was angry. She was hurt. She was sad. She was fearful. You can think of any emotion, right? And she was feeling it. And she just could not be consoled at all. And so she decided to throw herself into this fire, thus killing herself, burning herself up in front of her father. And her father never realized she would take this that far. And he was beside himself of what had happened. And so soon Shiva found out about what had happened to Sati. And, everybody's still over there wondering what happened, can't believe what happened in front of their eyes. And Shiva was just beside himself also, and just wailing and wailing about the loss, the death of his precious Sati. So he was just taking his hands in his hair, in these dreadlocks of hair, and just pulling on them and just pulling on them, and almost like just a pull out his hair from the roots of his scalp and finally let loose of some of his dreadlocks on the ground. And out of that pile of his own hair grew Vira. Vira means hero. Buddha, Vira Buddha, right? That's the beginning of Virabhudrasana. Buddha means the revered one or friend. So here rose out this being to go to the party and to act up against Daksha, the father, and to take his anger out on the father. So he went to the party, and I'm going to stand up for this part. So he went to the party, this Virabhudra. He went to the party, but he didn't want to enter like everybody else through the door, right? He was powerful, he was strong. So he decided to enter from the earth. So he entered like this, right? Virabhudrasana 1, okay? Virabhudrasana 1. So he entered like this. He bust through the ground. He entered and he lifted himself up. And then he prepared, I'm going to change my leg. And then he prepared to take aim at Daksha, right? Virabhudrasana 2, warrior 2. And then from here, he had his aim and he took his weapon and he pointed it towards the Daksha and he lifted up and he sent his aim and his spear into the heart of Daksha, killing and having retribution for the death of Sita. So all of this is going on at the party, and everybody at the party can just imagine what happened. They saw Sita jump into the fire, and now this Virabhudra came and did all this to kill Daksha, who was the person giving the party. All this news again comes back to Shiva, and Shiva was beside himself because really he was a person of peace. He was a person that lived by his heart, but he realized what his anger had done. And he took himself to a really secluded place and lived by himself for the rest of his life, trying to console his heart for the damage that had been done. But that's kind of the story behind those 3 postures. And we're going to do them today. And you might think, well, how are we going to do Virabhudrasana 3 when he's taking aim? We'll do that with the chair assist, okay? And we've done Virabhudrasana 1 and 2 in the chair, but I just wanted to kind of go over that with you. I thought that was a really pretty cool story, and it helps me when I'm working in those postures too. And we're going to realign ourselves a little bit also with Virabhudrasana 1, okay? But first, let's get in our chair. Thank you for letting me take the first 10 minutes or so of our class to share that with you. So let's go ahead and get in our chair and make sure your chair is not going to slide away from you, okay? Have your blocks available if you have them. Might use a strap, you know, just if you guys would just have those things available for whichever way our class may end up going. And I am already warmed up, so I'm going to take my first layer off here. Whew. I've given blood today, and I didn't give blood. They took blood, and because I needed to get blood work done. So I've done that and 2 yoga classes today, and so it's my 3rd. 3's a charm. So let's go ahead and sit in our mountain pose. And I'm sure there's stories about that too, but that mountain pose is always where we want to try to center ourselves. And not just center our bodies, but to center our breath and to center our minds with our breath. So I like to take my hands upright and just feel release there. I like to feel my feet upon the ground. So whether you are naked in your feet or you have socks or shoes on, See about how much sensitivity you can bring to the soles of your feet, and sending that sensitivity, that connection with the earth up through your legs, kind of like that spear of Vera, Buddha. Send that energy up through your legs, through your knees. Knees are pointed forward into your hips. And that's the thing with this Warrior Series 2. It uses all of our body. It strengthens. It's a very strong series. And then we take that energy and feel uplifted in our torso. Shoulders just pull a little bit down away from your ears. Your arms feel heavy yet supported. Back of your hands on your thighs. Feel total openness with the expansiveness of your breath. And then let your hands drop to the side. And open your eyes, open up your hands wide. Let your hands come up, arms rise up to about a V shape here. And then let's take and bend one elbow to one shoulder. And just keeping this arm just at that same angle, come on over. And then try lifting that elbow up a little bit more on the side that's bent. And you are holding yourself up with strength here as you're leaning over, and then bring your torso back perpendicular. Let that other arm shoot up. Give a big in-breath, and then exhale. Pull those elbows down and back. Shoulders squeeze, chin lifts, and then rise back up. Inhale, feeling that strength of Vera Buddha. And then take the opposite hand to your shoulder, keeping this arm just where it is. Come on over. There's a temptation to drop the arm. Hold it with the strength of the muscles in your arm. Let that elbow of the bent arm come up a little bit more. Breathe into your side body. Lift on up, inhale, both arms come up, lengthen, exhale, let's take it down, open up by letting shoulders and elbows pull back and the heart release forward. And then releasing back up, inhale. I'm going to change it up and add just a little bit here. Go ahead and take one hand to one shoulder. Come on over, still keeping that arm right at that same angle. But this time, go ahead and tap the top of your head with your hand. Still keeping that elbow lifted on that side, okay? And then reach it back out. Exhale, tap the top of your head, lift the other elbow up, and reach that hand out now. One more time, tap your head, reach on out, all that suspension in the air, working into our obliques. Take yourself up, releasing arms. Inhale. Exhale, pull down. This time, take fingers down, but still pull shoulders together and down, and let your heart come forward. Feel the difference in the musculature just by taking fingers downward. And then lifting up, fingers reaching up. Inhale, lift. And exhale, hand to shoulder on that other side. We've got that little angle going there. Come on over. Let your body come to that side, lifting up on that elbow. The extended hand comes to the top of your head and then reaches back out. On an inhale. Exhale, we bend the elbow, tap right at the crown of your head. Good. And reach on out again. Maybe leaning on it over a little bit more. One more time. Take that hand to the crown. Reach on out. And bring ourselves up. Both hands lift. Exhale, take it down first here, and then flip those arms under. Squeeze, pull back, pull down, and lift up heart. Bringing ourselves back. Take our hands out to shoulder height here. Palms down. Come on over to one side. Bring yourself back here. Take yourself back over. This is some that we will do when we're working in our warrior two to bring ourselves forward or take ourselves back into a reversed warrior or exalted warrior. Let's do two more each side, feeling into this center part of our body. And the lengthening of the side of your body too. And maybe your arms are feeling a little bit heavy because this takes work to keep that weight lifted, right? I know having a weight in your hand, go ahead and let your hands come down. Exhale. So, you know, in Denise's class, you can have weights or you don't have to have weights. And you can see how not having weights, you're still working those arms, okay? So always doing what feels best for you. One arm lifts up high. The other one comes back, okay? So we're kind of doing this thing right here. One arm back, one arm up, okay? But we're seated in the chair doing that. Go ahead, scissoring our one arm up, the other arm back, and then making that transition to the other side. One arm up, one arm back, heart lifts, inhale. And exhaling as we make that transition back into the other side. Inhale. Exhaling, okay, keep that going, that little flow. And if lifting shoulders this high is not in your repertoire, right, then take it into Cactus Arms, okay? And so we're also, while we're doing this, we're kind of opening up into a cow. And we're doing a little bit of a cat in between, not much, okay? But mostly here, opening heart, coming back into center with maybe a little chin tuck, and then lifting. Let's do two more each side, okay? You guys got the movement now. Inhaling. Really letting those shoulders feel this opening that you're giving them in so many different directions. Good, and then arms come down to your sides. Let's relieve some of that tension maybe in the shoulders by doing some circles here. And that just also releases our work in our arms because we've been working those arms pretty diligently there. Let's reverse. One more. Good. Let's take one shoulder up, let the other one come down so you look really crooked here, right? And then notice that in our life, sometimes we are a little crooked and we need to settle ourselves back into a more balanced state. Let that shoulder come down, let both relax. And then the other comes up and the other comes down. As you pull the one down, you'll feel that in your neck. You'll feel it also in the neck of the side that's pulling up. And let yourself come back into balance, into neutrality here. And then let's go ahead and slide down. We're going to leave our arms down here. Just let yourself go over. Bring yourself up. And I'm supporting myself on the side of legs of my chair. Okay. Coming into kind of a crescent pose here. You've noticed that moon has really been a beautiful bright crescent the last couple nights. Inhale, lifts you. One more time each side. Exhale. Bring yourself up. Good. And let's take both hands to our shoulders here and take some elbow rotations. Noticing that we can't do elbow rotations unless we have our shoulders rotating as well. And you have your wrists bent a bit, so they're getting some joint opening. And let's go ahead and reverse that. Seeing about the elbow points, really making those circles. One more round. Releasing hands, bringing them up, inhale. Exhale, right arm under left. Let's cross. Let's take ourselves into a hug first. Pull down on those shoulders, okay? Take your left foot to the center, cross your right one over. Pulling down on those shoulders. And now we're going to go ahead, if you have the flexibility, to release your arms so that the forearms come into a better perpendicular way here. Hands touch. And here we are set up for our, what is this called? Oh my God. Yep, you guys know what this is all about. Lifting up into eagle, Garurasana, bowing down into eagle, chin to chest. I'm going to blame that little lapse of memory on the time change. I don't know. I have to blame it on something. Exhale, take yourself down. Inhale, lift. And exhale, down. Bringing myself up. And taking myself elbows to one hip. Okay. Bring myself back up. Elbows to the other hip. On an exhale. Bring myself up. And 2 times go around in the circles. Feel that again. In our shoulders. Did a lot of shoulder stuff today. Come around in the opposite way. But again, you guys are finding out where your edge is, what feels good for you, what feels like a good release, not something that is hurtful at all, okay? Lifting if that feels right, releasing out of that bind. Woo, let's take our arms straight, but make circles with them, okay? And again, working into the shoulders too, but also weighting, taking the weight of our arms. Go ahead around the other way. And finding freedom of movement there. One more time. And take your hands at your knee. So we haven't uncrossed our knees yet. And again, if this isn't appropriate for you, you found a place lower to cross, all right? And let's go ahead and take circles with our ankle. We've done a lot of circles already for elbows and for our shoulders. We'll do a little bit for our hips here in a bit too. Let's go around in the opposite way. Good. And then go ahead, take hands down, release that top leg down. Find yourself in mountain pose for 2 breaths before we go to the other side for Garudasana, eagle pose. Yeah, you can hear yourself breathe if you guys want to. It's just some more feedback. We're taking those deep, slow, full breaths. Arms rise up, inhale. This time, right arm or left under right. That's right. And take yourself into a hug. Opposite, okay, whatever you just did. Pull those shoulders down. Walk your right foot in. Let your left come over. Keep pulling down there. Maybe tucking chin into chest. Feel that way in the back of your neck there, down through your shoulders, deltoids. Good. Lifting head up, releasing arms, taking them, if your arms want to, into this perpendicular place. Hands may touch one another here. Rising up into our complete eagle, and then let's bow down, elbows to our knee. Exhale. Inhale, keep going here. Your breath, your pace. One more here. Lifting up. Elbows to one hip. Take that little twist. Arms lift up right and center. Exhale, twisting elbows to a hip on the other side. Bringing ourselves up and 2 times in one direction. And maybe you feel that in your waist too. You let your whole torso kind of make those circles, and then reversing. Arms lift and exhale, releasing those arms. Rise up, inhale. Exhale, let our hands come down and interlace opposite way right underneath that kneecap, and take some circles with your ankle. And still focus on your breath and reversing. Good. All right, let's go ahead and do a little bit with our legs, and then we'll work into that warrior series, okay? So I'm going to go ahead and drop one knee to a block on the side of me like this, okay? So I'm going to scoot to the side of my chair. I'm going to make sure that I'm going to be still halfway on the chair, at least. One of my glutes, one of my hips is off. And I just look, and if you don't have a block, you can let your knee, I guess, kind of hang there and support it with the ball of your back foot, okay? And then extend that front leg long. And then from here, we're going to take this arm up, the opposite arm up, okay? And then bend into the knee again, bring it up and take elbow towards your thigh. And then slide your leg out, get a good stretch there, and then bend and slide and take a little bit of a twist. Okay, 2 more here. Press down into your shin on the block, right? Or onto the ball of that back foot. And let's just get a little bit of core here and a little bit of leg strengthening and stretching. And now we're going to go ahead, hold on to the back of the chair. So I don't want you guys going anywhere, okay? Hold on to the chair at the back, or maybe the back bottom of the chair, but hold on, because we're going to let our body weight come forward. And the other arm comes up here, okay? And I'm pressing out with the ball of my foot and on my heel. And I'm going to take myself down and touch maybe my shin or my thigh. If I touch my knee, I'm not pressing there, okay? But I would prefer you not be under the knee. So you're really suspending by holding on to yourself there. You're stretching into that side body, and then take a look upright. Good. And then with your body suspended over forward, lift that front arm, fingers towards me, mine towards you, and then pull yourself back up and take your torso back forward. So we really were in a twist and an elongation there, okay? And then we're going to go ahead and bend into this knee and switch sides, okay? So I'm going to switch my cheek, my hip, onto one side of the chair, holding on to make sure I don't fall off, bending my knee on that side, placing my shin on that block, tucking into my toes, so I really feel supported there, okay? And so find out what that is for you, and then go ahead and straighten that front leg, okay? Holding on, make sure we don't lose connection with that chair, okay? So hold on to one side, lift the arm up, lengthen, press down solidly into your shin, bring that foot back, lift the knee, take your arm across, maybe taking elbow towards your thigh, and then extend back out. Inhale, and then exhale. And maybe your leg doesn't lift that high, it doesn't matter. We're just getting into a little bit of this, all right? A little bit of our core and our waistline, yeah? Inhale. One more time. And lengthen. And now this hand comes down and holds on to something, the chair, seat, or maybe the chair back. Let's go over a little bit more. So I'm going to go somewhere that I'm not going to be falling off my chair, okay? Because now this hand rises up and I let myself come forward and I extend. And don't let your chair come with you, okay? And then take your hand and place it somewhere on that extended leg, all right? And then from here, start to twist into opening up through your heart, taking a look up, getting into that twist, lengthening the back side of that extended leg, taking breaths here. And then slowly twisting out of that and finding yourself, pulling yourself back up on that chair, hands on the seat of your chair. Take both legs forward now. Flex into your feet. Hold on to the seat of your chair, okay? Lean back and you're holding on or pressing down a little bit. Let your shoulders come in contact with the back of the chair. So you're in this like angle downward, really supported, right? Your cheeks, your hips are on the chair, your shoulders are there, and you could just maybe fall asleep here. It feels so comfortable and supportive. But we're going to do a little bit here. We're going to pick up one knee and bring it in towards our body. And then we're going to extend that leg straight out and then slowly let it come down. Bend into the other knee, bring it in to your shoulder, chest area, extend it out, slowly take it down. Make sure your back is supported. I don't want anybody straining into their lower spine, okay? So support with your shoulders and with your glutes and with your hands, but you're still working your core, but we're doing it safely, okay? Let's do one more each side. Pull in, and maybe that's just a little bit, extending out, lowering slower than you want to. One more time, pull in, extend out, and start to lower. Good. Whichever way you want to start with, you can either bend your knees or take your shoulders, but still find yourself really supported on that chair. So we should not have had any lumbar tension or compression there. It really should have been nice and elongated, okay? All right, let's set ourselves up for Virabhudrasana 1, okay? That's the one where he shot through the earth, all right? So we're gonna shoot through the earth with our setup here. One leg is forward, knee bent, right above the ankle. This leg, let's make it so that we don't have to stretch too much into the leg by just taking it straight down, right, onto that block. Find yourself situated. It may take a bit of planning with that block so that your hip and knee are pretty much in alignment here, all right? Foot comes straight back, front, hip and knee are pretty much in alignment too, okay? And so this is one way we're gonna practice it this way, and then we're gonna either go back to this or you're gonna extend the leg back. I wanna make sure you guys are comfortable with doing either one, or at least know your options, okay? And then I'm gonna shoot those arms up, but instead of like taking them here, I really wanna kind of take them at an angle forward, all right? Still biceps by ears, if that your shoulders allow, otherwise pull it on down, okay? So if you're here or with shoulders bent or elbows bent, that works. And we're kind of leaning into it a little bit more than being completely upright, okay? Gonna give it a little bit of a lean forward, and that will make more sense when we do the second part of it. And then if you want, you can take your body upright, but I want you to see what that lean is like, because we're definitely gonna do that in the next round here. From here, lift and pull down into cactus arms. Lift hard up, shoulders pull down, elbows pull down, and then lift back up. Inhale. And then exhale, take your hands behind you, interlace, press down, shoulders squeeze. If that's right for you, if not, please go here or here, okay? So please, please, please dignify your body by listening to it, lifting the chin, but not compressing a lot in the back of the neck, just lifting a bit here. And then bringing myself forward, releasing my hands. Take them again, straight up or at that angle. Again, that angle is going to be more significant in the next way that we practice this. Go ahead and let your hands come down. Now, you either repeat what we did here, or if you feel comfortable, you release that leg out and back. Straight, okay? But the toes and the foot are at a 45-degree angle. And that's more of what it would look like if we were standing doing Virabhudrasana 1, okay? So we've got this alignment. Our hip is not going to be straightforward, all right? When we try to make that happen, we put too much pressure in the knee. So just let your hips be where they are. Let your foot take weight on both front and back foot. And then now, this is where I'm going to shoot my arms forward. But I want to have it, if you notice how my arms now are kind of at that same line of energy as my back leg. If you've got your knee still bent, no problem. Just take your arms to whichever way you like. But here, and we still open up the heart, but we keep that angle. There's strength in that line of energy, okay? We kind of disconnect it if we pull ourselves up with that leg back. So really extend, And then pull your arms down off of your heart and make that line of energy again. And then exhale, hands come to your thigh, and let's go ahead and exchange sides, okay? Good job. So those are the two different ways of doing it. We're gonna do both again, or you can just take the one of your preference, okay? So let's go ahead and get that front knee and ankle to line up nicely. Get our shin to come onto that block, knee straight down from hip. So now this way we've set up Virabhadrasana 1. Our hips are forward, right? Because everything is in alignment here. The other way, our hips will be a little more open, and that is a more traditional way of doing it, okay? But I want you all to be able to do it whichever way works. Go ahead and lift your arms, but let's take them at that angle so our body's gonna angle forward a bit, right? To practice this for the next one. Lengthen through those arms. And then if you'd like, bring your body upright here, pressing solidly into shin, front foot, back foot, the ball of that back foot, coming into pulling down into cactus arms, chin lifts, open throat, shoulders squeezing, so much going on here. And then release on up, inhale. And exhale, take and interlace in that opposite way. Push down, squeeze hands, shoulders squeeze, we look up. And we come into this exalted warrior. And then our spine comes straight. We release our hands. We lift on up, either into this angle to practice that. And this takes some core strength to keep ourselves at this angle. When we pull back here, it's not as much core strength because everything is lined up and supporting itself, and that's fine. That's really good alignment too, okay? And then from here, exhale, let your hands come down and stay this way or extend that back leg, all right? And it's coming out at an angle, and the foot is at an angle. And my hips are more angled as well. I'm not going to try to force them forward because they're not going to do it, or it's going to affect my knee if I try to pull and pull and pull and force that hip to come. The knee's going to take some of that energy that it doesn't need, okay? So sitting up here, extending arms at that same angle as that back leg. Okay, do you see that? How different that is in this? Okay, so I'm really going to extend, but my heart still comes forward, right? There was a lot of heart in the anger, in the love, in the everything that was going on in that story. It affects our heart no matter what. So let the heart be coming into action, pressing weight into the front foot and the back foot. And then release your hands down. Take your body back up. Interlace in the opposite way and just squeeze again and look up. And releasing one more time, shoot those arms forward. And exhale, hands come down. All right, now let's go into warrior 2, okay? Virabhadrasana 2. We'll stay on this side, all right? So warrior 2, we want to be open here, right, like this. So my knee's not gonna go down. I'm just gonna keep my toes facing you. All of this is in alignment. Knee and ankle, knee and hip, all right? Everything lines up. This one lines up too, okay? If we were doing it with our leg out, it would be, have to come back all the way. It'd have to be at a 90-degree angle. We're not gonna do that. But our foot right now is at a 90-degree angle, but we've got our knees bent. And we open up, okay? And we take aim by looking over that arm that is over the leg that's to the side of our chair. And we let our arms really expand here. We take aim. And we're going to kind of rev up that aim by bringing our body weight back, taking our arm down, maybe onto the chair, bringing our gaze up, kind of like pulling back on the arrow so that you can, when you're ready, release it. And then bringing ourselves up and releasing forward here. Let's do that again. Hand comes down. This one comes up. Getting ready. Getting that energy. Lengthening here. And then bringing ourselves up. Strong, steady, sturdy with our gaze forward. Our legs strong, staying open. Feet pressing into the ground. Crown reaching up. Inhale. Exhale. Let your hands come down and let's switch sides. If you're pressing your feet into the ground, you're going to feel this. Like right now, I'm a little bit out of breath because I'm really energizing through everything that's connected, either to the ground or to the chair, okay? So again, I'm taking front foot, making sure everything's nicely aligned. I would be doing that too if I were standing in Warrior Two. And I'm taking the other leg out. When we do this and we press into the ground, it keeps us solid. But our knees get tired. It's not our knees that get tired, really. It's our hips, all right? It's right in the hips. And so they want to go poof and give way and cave in. So try to keep them open, solidly pressing into the ground, okay? And I express myself like this. Arms are open, trying to have them at the same height, right? And you guys can see yourself, right? Because you're zooming, so you should be able to tell. Am I like this, and this is all good for some of the things we do, right? We did some of this earlier, but right now we really want to be balanced. We really want to be strong. Send that energy out through your fingers. Look over the hand of the knee that's to the side of your chair. See your goal, see your target. And we don't have to make it a bloodbath like that story, right? It can be just a little goal that maybe I have today. I'm going to go for a walk in this beautiful weather, get myself outside, whatever it might be. And then go ahead and let that back hand come down. We're going to rev up here, taking energy upward as I press down into my feet. Open up the side of my body. And then taking myself down and shooting that arm out, looking with my gaze forward. Press down into my feet, keep my knees open, and let's do that again. Come on back. Reversing here. Press down with my feet and then shoot myself up. Trying to find that balance every time I come back into the center here. A little more strength. And exhale. Taking those arms down. Let's bring in that leg. Let's take knees together and feet out. Take your hands on the back of the chair. And I am going to just press down into the chair. Let my hips lift from the seat. If you want to try to do that, you can. It's weight bearing, right? We're bearing our own weight. And then come on back down. And then let's open up in the opposite way. I'm taking my feet together, the outside edges on the ground, and I'm going to let my hips be open in Tadasana, star pose here, okay? And breathing. And then placing feet flat open up to hips distance. We're going to bring our body forward. We're going to send our arms up in front of us, and we're going to let ourselves come off our chair. And you're going to rise on up. And I'm going to adjust a little bit. The camera, I don't think I really have to, because I'm going to move back. And I'd like you guys to get to the back of your chair, okay? And we're going to just experience a little bit about Virabhudrasana 3, Warrior 3, right? And there's no expectation, hope, or dream that you guys have to today come into a balanced Virabhudrasana 3. You know, you want to someday, that's fine. But it only took me about 6 years to do that. So today we're just going to stretch back here. So go ahead and walk yourself back. I just don't want to be lost here. If I turn the camera the other way, the device, then my head gets chopped off. So, all right, well, let's go ahead and extend really long here. Feel the length in the back of your legs, okay? Your legs have done a lot of work today if you've been pressing weight into them when we were in our Vira 1 and Vira 2. Remember that warrior really translates to friend, okay? Revered one, revered hero, the friend, the warrior that takes care of us, it takes care of others. So from here, and I'm going to scoot up one more time so you can see better what I'm doing. You're going to lift one leg, slide it back to the toe, okay? And then lift it, maybe not very high, just maybe to your, not higher than your hip, maybe just an inch up. And so you're stretching through your arms, you're strengthening that standing leg, you're pressing into the heel of the foot that's lifted as high as you have it, and you're trying to keep your hips in one line, okay? Bend into the standing leg, place the other foot down, slide it back, straighten those legs, and find your extension here. Couple breaths. Good. Leave your left foot or the opposite foot, whichever one you didn't slide back, leave it planted. Slide the other one back to the toe, to the ball of the foot. Lift it only if you feel like that's appropriate for you. Again, no higher than your hip. Take that hip down so it aligns with the other. Breathe here in your Virabhudrasana 3. Bend into the standing leg, place the other foot on the ground if it moved back, and then lengthen your legs and find that nice long spine. And then walk on up to your chair. Take your hands off your chair and let's just stand in our mountain pose here. Taking breaths, finding our renewed balance and energy here in this nice, sturdy, steady place of mountain pose, Tadasana. Tadasana. Good. And now let's find our mountain pose, seated back in our chair. And those warriors are pretty, I'm not gonna say they're easy, but they're things that all of you could do standing. So maybe the next time we meet, we'll practice them seated. People can stay seated, or we can take them up and stand. There's just a few other little points to mention when we take them into that standing mode, okay? All right, so go ahead and find a good mountain pose here. Feet are parallel to one another. Your body's lined up. Heads are on straight. Lots of shoulder work today, so let them really be loose, relax, let go. Feel that connection again with your feet and the energy from the earth. It comes up through your body. Send it out through the crown of your head. Maybe through the thought of being in Virabhadrasana, one coming through the earth with strength. And finding our goal, our target, and opening up to that. And then letting go and feeling balanced on one leg. Guerreras, you all are warriors. Thank you for being here today and doing a practice of getting reconnected in maybe a little different way with the Warrior series. Let your hands come down, rise on up, inhale. Exhale, hands come into heart center. We give a slight bow down to our true teacher, ourselves, our hearts. And from my heart to yours, thank you for being here. Namaste. Good. Well, I hope you guys feel that warrior spirit throughout the rest of your